Real quick though, we can talk about SmackDown. The biggest thing I think that came out of SmackDown was what happened on social media before. Tiffany versus Charlotte in the parking lot having, a nice work session. I still think this has been work I still think they shot at each other, but it was an agreed upon, we're going to work. We're still going to work with each other.
They've managed to take situations that people think are going off the script and put them right back to being on the script again.
Yeah.
It's amazing
right?
how they do it.
I fully agree.
They do it very well.
They do. Yeah, no, they're great about Triple H is good about that. Like he calling people down. I still think that's why at least some of that was agreed upon and or whatever. But yeah, no, if not, even if it wasn't, they're back on track. Triple H makes everything cooler heads prevail. What happens? You don't have a boss screaming at you the whole time.
The 0 for 3 wasn't planned.
No, that was a rough line. Which is why she jumped right out when she did. Yeah. You could tell she knew that was very much little brother, little sister syndrome, where she's like, poke the bear and I'm gone. I thought,
but they did it good because then the first thing you saw before SmackDown was this footage.
Yeah,
and again, it was caught by a fan. Yeah,
exactly. And they let the fan post it before they talked about it, and then they talked about it live. I thought Joe Test talking about it was great. So
cool.
Real quick, Rey Fenix, great, looking awesome. You can just tell he's happy. I love seeing this guy performing well, actually selling moves, not botching because he's trying. He cares. You could just see how happy he is, just in the physical charisma. And Berto was a great opponent for him because he knows his style. They can match the speed, and Rey Fenix gets a nice win. Nice little story with Legato. I'm not.
Yeah, what do you think they're going to do there?
I'm not sure. I feel like I feel like the story is to have Santos try and bring him in, and he passes. Maybe that might be how they end up getting Penta and him together sooner than we were thinking. I've kind of thought they'd keep them separate for a while.
I hope they do.
I do too, but they are a bit older. They would bring a lot to a tag division, though. Everybody complains the tag division doesn't have enough heat. You bring these two boys into it on either side. I feel like now with their ability to sell, work together, and being happy and traveling the roads together, it does seem kind of perfect. Then it also doesn't muddy up any. There's a lot of mid-card singles contenders for the IC and the US belt. So I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, maybe Penta or maybe Phoenix saves Penta from getting killed in the IC match, but Penta doesn't win that. And then because of that, they somehow gets it back to there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Legato story ends with, the Lucha Brothers versus Umberto and what's the other guy's name? Hector? Angel. Thank you. That's it. I'm bad with names. I fully admit that. That has nothing to do with anything else. I am terrible with names. I always admit that. But yeah,
I've never seen two talents come from another organization where I really didn't like them at all.
Right? And you're like, oh.
And now all of a sudden I realized they could speak, they can sell moves, and they can pretty much do what I thought they could have done.
Yeah, like everybody kept putting over their matches with the Bucks, and because it was it was spot fest that nobody sold a damn thing. Both of them, they sell their moves, they interact. Yeah, no, there's the presentation is everything, and I'll admit it. Like when Cody first came over from AEW, and it was like the biggest story, I was like, whatever, we'll see how it goes. And like by the time he had like approached the freaking ring, I was like, I am all in on this guy. This is awesome. Because it just fits. Certain things work. It's right presentation. And these two guys are, it's one of those things. What I always say, a happy employee is a productive employee. Mm-hmm. These two are prime examples of that, I would feel like. So,
yeah, it's just something to see. Because like I said, every time they were in AEW, I went to the bathroom.
Yeah, right. And it just didn't matter. But their matches didn't matter. They were in the Death Triangle with Pac. Two Mexican guys, and is Pac from England or Wales, were
somewhere,
and a UK and somebody from Great Britain. Like, who cares? Like, there was never a reason why they were connected other than Death Triangle. We all have a pose. Like, who cares? But like within moments, like of being on WWE television, they're in stuff that matters. With Penta's matches have mattered. He's in this storyline. He's going to be in a WrestleMania match. Phoenix is getting involved with Legato. Like, it just makes sense.
Good to see.
My favorite thing on SmackDown, I will say, was back to what we were talking about from the beginning of the show, a touch of history, which I'm sure Cody just loved this because, one of the reasons we all love Cody is because of how much he loves the business and the history. But just seeing all the titles up there, from Bruno to Hogan, to, to Austin, to Cena, or to Austin, Undertaker, Cena, Eddie Guerrero, like those belts it was cool to see all those belts and wonder, like, who do you think of with the first belt, like the first time you see each belt, and like who Cody brought up with each belt? How many
of those were the original belts and how many were replicas, do you think?
That's a good question. The replicas, or like, hey, at least this one was on TV somewhere. You know what I mean? Because they always had a couple of versions of each of them. I feel like it. At least like from the Undisputed on. Maybe not. Obviously not Bruno's, and probably not the smaller Hogan one, the one all the way there to the right. That one I never really liked. That one that Hogan first wore when he was winning back then. That one always was kind of, maybe because Hogan was so big it looked weird, but I just thought it was cool to see them all. I was glad that he brought up Eddie Guerrero with I guess it was the first Undisputed title. I always think of Undertaker and Brock Lesnar for that title initially, but Eddie was a nice touch because that is the one that he won. And I mean, if that moment isn't, if that win against Brock and then beating, Kurt Angle, like if that doesn't do it for you, I got nothing for you. I mean, that was just awesome. And the crowd doing the Eddie chant, and even though he was in Seattle, I thought that was really a classy moment and awesome to see all that history right there in front of us.
Yeah, it was a good way to wrap things up on the show. I liked it.
Yeah. Well, so it was wrap things up for that segment because the end of the show had the tag match, which started the show initially, was Randy Orton and LA Knight getting together, which you knew was going to lead to a tag match. Looks like it's going to lead to Solo versus Orton at WrestleMania, which does make a lot of sense. Solo deserves a WrestleMania match. He's put in the hard work, but let's be real. It was all about our boy Jacob Fatu. I mean, he just came out, and I feel bad for LA Knight because he's going to have to be the sacrificial lamb, but I mean, Jacob Fatu's got a rocket on his back. Him and Braun Breaker, to me, are just the two. You got rockets on their back, and you were shooting them to main event WrestleManias together from like 44 or 45 through 50. Like, are you kidding me with these two? Like,
unfortunately, though, you're kind of positioning them both heading into babyface mode.
Yeah, for now, but I feel like both of them can be a heel. They're physically charismatic. Yeah. It's surprising though because they do keep trying to like have Jacob hurt like innocent people, hurt fan favorites, but he's just so damn charismatic that you can't deny him. I mean, Cornette said it for years. Cornette's the reason I went and looked out his matches in MLW, and then they had that one. MLW had one show on Vice that I remember recording, and the entire show was one match, and it was Jacob Fatu versus Alex Hammerstone, and it was awesome. And from that point on, I was like, no, yeah, this guy's an amazing talent, but it's hard not to root for him. I mean, and he does have that story too, where he was, a younger criminal, went to prison, turned his life around for his family and kids, and now just wants to wrestle. So, he can be that, beast with the heart of gold situation too. But then you look at it, his Breaker's just so charismatic, it's hard not to root for him too. So it'll be interesting what they do, but I just feel like the feud that those two eventually are going to have, that you could bring in the families and tie that in, like that could be a 5 to 10 year feud almost. Like you could go back to that. Yeah. There's so much meat on that bone. It's like the full elk. Like it's just a beast. Like and you could see Triple H, and Shawn Michaels just sitting there going, yep, that's going to be perfect. So yeah, no, I thought it was a good episode of SmackDown. Set this up. Like, we have one Raw, one SmackDown before, and even the SmackDown is the WrestleMania SmackDown that's going to have the tag title match, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I feel like there's the Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis versus it's Zelina Vega and then Caden Carter and Katana Chance. So that's probably most of that card.
Yeah, there's so much going on. It's a weird times for Eastern time zone and Central. That's You got the Hall of Fame. You got
Yeah,
Smackdown,
no,
you got this, you got that. Everything's like
one of the
12,
few times
1,
I'm excited
2.
to be in the West Coast because, yeah, that Hall of Fame show starts at 10 p.m. my time. I'm like, Jesus, that's 1 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, no, that's insane. And then they've got the NXT show at like 10 a.m. my time the next day. Quick shout out to Ricky Saints winning the NXT North American title, and from a former AEW superstar to then probably feud with Ethan Page. So just cool. Wanted to shout him out. I think it's great. Again, seeing a happy employee doing work and winning a championship is always awesome. So yeah, it's just you can see it how they cut the promos and who they are.
Always have a special tie to Ricky Saints. He was our first episode.
He really was. That was a nice lead in. That was a really perfect, like, well, shit, do we have a story to talk about? So yeah, no, that one's good. So no, I feel like that probably sums us up for this episode. We've gone, oh look, 45 minutes. That's about what we're trying to knock out. So anything else you wanted to cover? Any other topics or anything else I can?
No, it's all good. We'll see everybody tomorrow night.
Yes, you beat me to it. I just posted on X, and I'll post it again for our Sunday night spaces. We'll be back to regular time on Sunday, 8:05 p.m. Eastern time via my X account at AltJakeTakesOn. Please join us, converse. We don't have any special guests planned, but you never know who's going to show up.
Maybe not.
I was going to say, you never know. Hey, people want to show up. You know, we are more than welcome. We are a fun-loving and happy community. Just be cool with everybody, as we were saying earlier. Don't be a dick. You know, be interactive. We can have different opinions. That's fine. It's conversation. So please join us on Sundays for spaces. What's up?
Somebody may have sent a DM to somebody asking somebody to come on the show for something.
This is what I work with, people behind the scenes. George always hides things and pulls it. Hey, I'm all for it. You know, it's more exciting for me. So
if you haven't noticed, folks, Jake is best when I get him on the spur of the moment. When we don't plan things out too far in advance, Jake shines, and that's why.
I appreciate that, my friend, and that is why you are here. Keep me honest, keep me on target, hey, get the best out of each other. I think it's good. You know, that's what we do here. So awesome, buddy. Well, please, everybody, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. You know, our subscriber count grows kind of slow, but I feel like the people who subscribe, they watch. We get a lot of watch hours from that. So we appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much, and we will catch you next time.